Hello and welcome to this video in which I'm going to be teaching you how to work out the correct position size. This formula you have to be running through before you take every single trade. Let's say, for example, you have $5,400 inside of your trading account. Many traders will risk on every trade they take $5,400. They will enter with their whole account balance. That is the incorrect way to work out position sizes, and you will find yourself losing money quickly using that strategy. So I'm going to give you a formula to work out the correct position size using and incorporating very strongly risk management. So a thing to note is that you always need to know the risk before you enter a trade. So what does this mean? It means you have to have your setup in place before you enter a trade. So as we know from the last video, that means working out the entry, which is based off of a technical analysis reason, our stop loss, which is the invalidation of that entry. Okay, so our trade setup is based off of technical analysis. If it comes down this low, our idea was invalidated. So just to emphasize that, our stop loss is not a random or arbitrary 1%, 2% or 5% on every single trade. Every trade is going to have a different stop loss percentage because our stop loss is placed at the invalidation of our trade idea. And thirdly, our take profit, which is going to be where we want to then get out of this position. So in this idea, we are trying to buy the low of the range, sell the high of the range. Invalidation is if it drops down below the low of the range. Okay. This is a 4% stop loss for a 12% gain. So 3 to 1. You could imagine we're risking $1 to gain $3. Okay, but then to work out our position size. So once we've worked out the setup, we then realize where our entry is and our stop loss, but how many dollars are we placing at the entry? This is the formula. So we have $5,400 inside of this account. Again, you might only have $50 or you might have $50,000. This is going to be different for everybody, this section, but the formula is the same. So in this example, we have $5,400 and we will be willing to risk 1% of the portfolio with each trade. Again, as a beginner, you might only want to risk 0.5%. This is, again, can be changed as well as this. Obviously, your account size is definitely going to be different, but the percentage that you're willing to risk can also be changed. 0.5% to 1% are generally accepted. So in this example, we're going to be risking 1% of our portfolio with the trade. Okay, so obviously 1% of our account size, which is $5,400, is $54. Okay, so simply to work out the risk that we're willing to take, 1% of our account balance. So 1% of, in this example, 5,400 is 54. This is not how much we enter for the trade size, okay, but this is how much we are willing to risk per a trade, okay. So that is how much we are going to lose if our stop loss is hit. We will lose $54, okay, and that's going to be the same on every trade that you take. 1% of the account. You always know before you enter the trade how much you're going to risk. Okay, so then to work out the actual trade amount in dollars, and that means what we're placing at the entry, we are then going to use this formula. So our trade size that we'll place at the entry equals our dollar amount of risk, which is for us in this example 54, divided by our stop loss percentage divided by 100, obviously in brackets this section. So we are risking 1% of our account, which in this is $54. So 54 divided by 4 divided by 100. Why 4? Because that's our 4. In this trade setup, we have a 4% stop loss. Again, if this was 1.3% or if this was 3%, then obviously we would be changing this number for that percentage that we're using. So if our stop loss was 3% away, we would do 3 divided by 100. Okay, here it's 4% away. So we take the formula 54 divided by, in brackets, 4 divided by 100, which is obviously like this. 54 divided by 0.04 equals 1,350. Obviously, we're getting 0.04 from 4 divided by 100. That will make sense. Okay, so 1,350 is what we will place at the entry. We have gone through the formula, working out how much we're willing to risk per trade and our account balance. Gone through the formula here, and that's given us 1,350. So the entry will be 1,350. Then once we place our stop loss and our take profit, we know that we are only going to lose $54 if our stop loss is hit. Okay, so we are risking 1% of total portfolio with a 4% stop loss in this specific trade. We enter the trade with $1,350. If we lose the trade, we will lose $54. If we win with our 12% target, we will win $162. So we are essentially risking $54 to win a potential $162. We know before the trade how much we will lose, how much we will win. We can then sit back and watch the trade play out. Okay. Again, this position sizing is going to be it's based off of your stop loss percentage. Obviously, if your stop loss is very small, let's say 0.5%, then naturally you're going to have a bigger position size. And if your stop loss is 10% away, your position size is going to give a smaller value. So this is how you correctly work out your stop loss and your specifically trade size. So you are not arbitrarily entering random amounts on every position. Okay, you are actually going through a specific formula that's going to calculate how much you have to be entering when you place that limit order, how much size you're actually taking on that trade. So I hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed this video, and it's going to help you now moving forwards in terms of your risk management so you can correctly work out your position sizes. Thank you and enjoy.